And if you're net short, you stay net short. Doesn't mean you don't have hedging opportunities, which is what we'll talk about a little bit this morning. So just looking at the overall construction here of the chart on ES, this is the S&P 500, the futures. You can see for the first time in a while, we gave up this support level. This was a pretty good support level for a bit, the 200, that's the 200 period moving average. But we solidly broke that on Tuesday. Now, there was support right below it that could have maybe pushed, but then Wednesday did not roll the way, Thursday did not roll the way they had hoped, those that were looking for the rally recovery. And then obviously we got more selling. Yields skyrocketed higher. VIX went higher. NVIDIA broke support levels. So did Bitcoin. And some of the other metrics that we look at, which I'll show in a second. The dollar continued to move higher, and selling begets more selling. So now that you've broken this, it's very important to understand this concept. When you break a level, it's one thing when you can retest a level of support, and then you see it break through but recover. It can even get sometimes a close and then recover. But if you remember the alerts and the conversations that we had in the live room, I told you if we get a close, and I even wrote this on the screen, if we get a close below the 200. This was the phraseology I used. Guys, remember? If you get a daily close below significant support levels, dare I say the 50 and the 200 are probably the most significant support levels from a technical perspective. You get a daily close below, there's a good chance that it will then continue lower and revisit some other recent support. And so we got that daily close. And so now that you got the daily close below the support level, you are now in correction territory. Right? It's correcting. Is it a bear market? No, not until it's, more than a 15% drop from the high, or what is it, 20%, they consider it a bear market. But it is in correction territory. And so when it is in correction territory, any attempt to bounce like an oversold bounce, any attempt to bounce, right, like an oversold bounce, any attempt to bounce like an oversold bounce is typically met with more selling, driving prices even lower. And you can see right out of the gate here, we gapped down initially off of the close. This was Friday's close. And this morning we gapped down to here. We take it a little bit further because there's a little wick there. And then we move all the way up to here. And already, just at a little bit after 11, we've now pulled back down to here. So that's what this candle signifies. I'm not drawing it to scale here. But what this candle signifies is that we opened here, which is quite a distance from the close on Friday. That's called a gap down, right? The wick here means we continued lower. So that was the initial move, was lower. But then the markets rebounded, got an oversold bounce, plus the narrative that we are going to pause war efforts, plus the price of oil coming down. You add that up. Markets liked it. Algos kicked in, buying algos, whether it was from the oversold condition or the narrative or both. And then you can see this moves higher. So when you open here and move lower and then move higher, up towards the open of the candle, it forms a wick. And so the wick signifies that price was previously lower, but then touched off the bottom and continued higher. There was some support here that allowed for price to move higher. And then it moved higher. And because there's a wick on this candle, that means it went all the way up to here. But before the candle closes, this is a daily candle, right? Price did actually pull back from the highs of the day, and right now it settles here. So we went lower than the open, we went higher, within this range, went higher and then pulled back. And so that is where we are now. Open, up, and down, right? Like this. That's what it really should look like. In fact, I'm inventing a new candle called snake candles. Open here, come down to here, go up here, finish here, right? What does that look like? That way you can really see the move, and it'll put a little head at the head of the snake. Everybody like these kind of candles? You heard it here first. It's copywritten, so you can't copy it. What do you say, Ralph? Snake candles good? Yeah, you get 2 snake candles in a row. What do you got? You got a shift. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video from Trade With Me Now. Make sure to go ahead and like this video and subscribe to our channel so you make sure that you catch our next video right when it's released. Also, if you have a question or comment, please leave that in the comment section below. And of course, if you want to learn more about Trade With Me Now or join our community of profitable traders, go to tradewithmenow.com. There's also a link in the description below.